This was a disappointing end for the Phoenix Suns season, and with rumors and speculations going to be abundant through the offseason, we have a proposed trade breaking down Tim MacMahon saying that the Phoenix Suns should trade Kevin Durant back to the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to be breaking that down, looking, is that the smart move for the Phoenix Suns, or should they retool around the edges? All of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Before we dive in on all of that news, 96% of our viewers are not subscribed. So we greatly appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button as we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. This is the new place for you guys to get all your daily Phoenix Suns news, rumors, all that type of stuff. So if you guys enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, though, we're going to dive into the first topic at hand. Make sure to grab a snack, and it's going to be a jam-packed episode. And like I mentioned in the introduction, Kevin Durant could be heading back to Oklahoma City, and that's what this ESPN reporter is saying. If we want to look at ESPN's Tim MacMahon, he suggests that the Suns could improve their roster by trading Kevin Durant and reaching out to Oklahoma City. He's saying he thinks this is the best way for the Suns to, certainly not what Matt Sheba wants to hear, and that would be to trade Kevin Durant. There would still be plenty of interest for Kevin Durant. My first phone call probably would be to his original home. I don't know what Oklahoma City's interest would be, but I could convince myself he would be one of a hell of a fit there, and it wouldn't be about the players you're getting back, but obviously the picks in that case. And as we all know, the Oklahoma City Thunder have been stockpiling those draft picks for years and years and years for this opportunity for a star player to request out, for that guy to come in with their squad, their young, powerful squad. And with them being the 1 seed this season, there are going to be an abundance of stars that are going to be looking to join that. So with breaking that down, kind of looking at it, he says obviously Matt Sheba would not want that, and that's the case because Matt Sheba has stated multiple times he wants to keep this roster intact, and we broke that down in a previous video. So if you guys want to check that out, you guys can go look at that, looking at the Suns off-season plans. But in his mind, he wants to keep this big three. He wants to make sure that they can run it back. He feels that this Suns team is on the verge of winning a championship. Even though I might not fully one-heartedly agree, I do think that trading a guy in Kevin Durant is a better situation than possibly trading Devin Booker. Those rumors have been rambunctious. Me and CJ have broken down videos on that as well. But as you guys know, I think that he is the nucleus. I think he is the center. He has been here through the KD era, through the Chris Paul era, with DeAndre in when he was drafted. You cannot let go of a guy in Devin Booker. But a guy in Kevin Durant who had his shoe video for the Kevin Durant 17 with a guy in Chet Holmgren. Could he be leaking that he wants to go back to Oklahoma City Thunder? And if so, would it be this off season? So if we want to look, we can look at the Phoenix Suns payroll, and we can see that Kevin Durant is making $47 million, but next year, 51, and the year after making $54 million. So Kevin Durant on around a $50 million contract. And as we all know, the Phoenix Suns do not have a lot of draft capital. That is why Tim MacMahon would like them to do this trade, to get that capital, to help out for their future and to help out for the next GM in case James Jones isn't there for this foreseeable future. But obviously, as we all know, they have a second-round pick in 24, 28, and they also have their first-round pick this year, which is around 22, and they also have their 2031 pick, which we discussed again in our previous video, in the off-season plans video, discussing all of that, where Matt Sheba says that he does not expect to have those picks, and he does not want to wait for those guys. He feels that this team is a championship-built ready roster, and he wants to make those key additions to help out so that this team can push for that ring. So ultimately, with the Phoenix Suns wanting to trade all this draft capital, wanting to trade all these picks, I don't know if this is the trade they're going to look for. But if we want to look at the Oklahoma City Thunder payroll to kind of guess and kind of figure out who would have to be involved in this trade, I would expect either one of Jalen Williams or Josh Giddey to be involved, if not both, as those are both some nice young star players. I know Oklahoma City would not want to give up on Jalen Williams, but possibly a guy in Josh Giddey could be a nice playmaker for this Phoenix Suns bench unit and could be a nice young guard to bring in. I know Kenrick Williams is a great guard, a great all-around hustle player doing everything as well. And a guy in Lou Dort might be that highest contract that they might be able to match to want to do a trade. So possibly throwing in Lou Dort at around $16 million, throwing in Josh Giddey at around $8 million, that is roughly around $32 million, and taking on a guy in Kenrick Williams might be around $38 million. So the Suns would even cut some money there doing that trade. A Kenrick Williams, a Josh Giddey, and possibly throwing in a Lou Dort for a Kevin Durant deal with a couple picks. As we all know, the Oklahoma City Thunder have an abundance of first and second round picks. You can't even see the years on these picks because they have too many. This is all of their picks that they have. I tried to fit as many as in so you guys can see they have an abundance of them. And with the Phoenix Suns only having 2, this would be a move that I think would be nice. So when we dive into this next part, kind of going, would this be smart for the Phoenix Suns? Do you guys think that this is a move that they should be doing? Drop your thoughts down below in the comment section. Personally, I think that if they are going to trade any star, Kevin Durant is the one that they should be trading. I know that he just got in halfway through last season, but he's going to have one of the most values for this team. If we want to look back at their contracts, obviously Devin Booker is going to have a lot of value, but I say you don't trade the nucleus. And Bradley Beal with that no trade clause and having some injury history, making around $50 million next year, that contract is not going to be movable. So if you're looking to move one of the stars, I do say you move Kevin Durant because like Tim MacMahon said, a bunch of teams are going to want a guy in Kevin Durant. He's still a great scorer, still a great defender, and still can be a great contributor and star player. And possibly going back to OKC could be that fairy book ending, that fairy tale ending, where he goes and tries to do a fantastic job. Now, ultimately, I personally don't think that Kevin Durant is going to want out. I do think that this would be a smart move for the Phoenix Suns, getting some draft capital, saving up for the future, bringing in a nice young playmaker in Josh Giddey, a nice defender in Lou Dort, which you didn't have, and also adding a guy in Kendrick Williams who's a great hustle, do-it-all type of player. Those are three key things that you need for this Phoenix Suns team. Then if you look at a lineup of Josh Giddey, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Lou Dort, and Jusuf Nurkic, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it does look pretty solid and looks like it can contend and keep up. But ultimately, I do believe that Kevin Durant will not want to leave the Phoenix Suns, and I don't think that the Thunder will want to blow it up just after one season and one trial run in the playoffs if they do come up short. I do believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder will try to hold out and possibly wait even till next year where the Suns are even more frustrated and more aggravated, and Kevin Durant is on his last year of his deal to then want to do a trade and try to get something done so they can extend Durant on a little bit of a cheaper extension, especially with their young players growing, with Chet Holmgren going to be needing some contract soon, with Jalen Williams going to be wanting that contract soon. Keeping a guy in Kevin Durant alongside of those guys would be key. But if I'm the Suns, I'm trying to get Jalen Williams in that deal. If I'm unsuccessful, trying to get guys like Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Kendrick Williams with an abundance of picks, 2 to 3 first-round picks, I think is a great deal. But ultimately, I do not think that the Phoenix Suns will do this deal. I think that the Phoenix Suns want to remain a top-heavy team, and they're going to keep their three-headed monster of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal to run it back, try it again, and add some other role players and some other pieces alongside this team to really see how it can fully work with a fully healthy squad. If that's not the case, though, we're getting to the trade deadline, and it is frustrating. We could see some guys ask out. We could see some frustrations, and that's what we're here to break down on Suns Digest. So like I mentioned, stay tuned, stay up to date, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, as we have plentiful of videos to come out. We're going to have another video coming out talking about James Jones and the bench depth and what he kind of really wants. So if that interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to stay tuned as we have these videos coming out rapidly for you guys over here on Suns Digest. But as further ado, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I'm Bruce Veliz. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everybody.